Good evening, everybody. It's Lynn here. Whoops.
The winner of this award is effectively a one-woman tourist board, using the power of just her mobile and her bus pass to showcase beautiful sights and amazing events hosted all over the island. Even the weather won't stop her, working both day and night to make sure that people all over the world know just how amazing our Isle of Wight is.
Hi everybody, it's Lynn here, the Go Live Granny, and I've just done a live stream over at the church on the roundabout. I'm down outside the Delhi Cafe, and I'm sitting down on Western Gardens on Ryde Seafront, and I'm live streaming here on Friday afternoon, the 17th of July. I am sitting in the Go Live Granny Community Garden, live streaming this time from the garage. I'm sitting out in my front garden because it's actually hashtag National Knit in Public Day. It's time for a little bit of monkeying around, winging our way through the first month of the new decade. I've already done a live stream today, 2020 it is, and I'm live streaming here under my gazebo. No, it's not 10 o'clock. You're not wrong. It's 10 to 6. It's a bit dark. I've been at the Isle of Wight Stylers. I am down on St Helens Green for the St Helens Carnival, and I'm just going to do a quick live stream. So I thought I'd just do a little monkeying about. Wow. All I can say is wow, wow, wow. We have some wonderful people in this community. Over 200 shares. That's the magic. That's when the magic happens. Is when everybody starts sharing. So. Hello everybody. Oh, that was a faff and I've been fiddling about there. So welcome to everybody. I am live here on for the second time after a little blip of technology. I'm live here on Sunday the 12th of May 2024. I've had an amazing weekend. I wanted to share it with you, and the technology tried to defeat me, but it hasn't defeated me. I've managed to get on. I had no sound, but I can see that there should be sound now. So if anybody, those watching, can you actually tell me if you can hear me? Give me a thumbs up or whatever, just so that I know that you can hear me. Because thank you, Andrea. Brilliant, because I had some issues and I thought I'd solved it because my son had told me because I was having echo previously, he told me to put some earphones into the phone to kill the sound. No, to kill the echo, but it killed me instead of that. So I then had to start again. I had to switch my phone off. I had to do all sorts of things. But I've got there in the end, and you're patient. Thank you very much for being so patient with me. Tracy, you are late, but you're not late because I've had technical issues, and it's taken me half an hour to sort out my technical issues. So I've only just gone live. I went live. No, Andrea couldn't hear me, so I've gone live again. So, folks, can you share now, because it's messed up, people won't know I'm live or whatever. So if you can share to some of the community, that would be fantastic. Tag people in who might not know what's going on. So I don't, I really need to get my head. I used to know the technology, and then it seems to be that since I've been ill, I've been more, since I was ill last year, I've been more challenged with the technology. So let's see how we go on this one. But I have had an amazing weekend. I've seen Tracy during the weekend. I've seen lots of people that I haven't seen for ages. And I've met new people, and I've found out new things about what goes on the Isle of Wight. It has been an amazing weekend. So as I say, welcome to anybody coming in on the live. Feel free to comment as we go along. Some of you know that because some of you are already commenting, so that's brilliant. If you're new here, an extra big welcome. No, everybody's welcome. Everybody gets a big welcome. But if you're new here, you feel free to comment. But if you don't want to comment, that's perfectly fine. You can sit in the background. What we don't like is people who are rude. So anybody who comes in and is rude, then I block them. That's easy peasy. We have had some of those, but hopefully none of that nonsense now. So I'm going to tell you what an amazing weekend I've had. First of all, it's been sunshine all the way. Well, no, actually, it started even better than that, didn't it? I'm. Oh, actually, sorry, I've forgotten to say. If you're coming in on the replay, so in the future, if you're watching this in the future after 12th of May, 2024, do put replay in the comments, and then I will see that you've watched, and I will comment back to you. So yes, Friday night, I was a bit tired. And I wanted to try and get to bed early because I wanted to get up and go to the Riverfest, which was yesterday. And I was in bed and I'd been doing some crafting and I was just about to put the light off and go to sleep. And my family WhatsApp group, my brother put in there, welcome everybody coming in, that's lovely. My brother put into the WhatsApp group that he was watching the Aurora Borealis, whatever you call it. Yes, that's right. And I thought, and he lives in Newport, here on the Isle of Wight, you know, and I know that people go right across the world to watch this thing. So I thought, oh, I ought to get out of bed, but I don't want to. But actually, I thought, well, if I've only got to walk into my lounge and open the window, I ought to do it because I'll never see it again, probably. So I got up and I went into the lounge, and I've got a Juliet balcony. So that's one of those where you've got French doors. It's not actually a balcony, you know, you've got a rail across, but I've got French doors. So I opened up my French doors and hang on. Yes, Tracy, let's stop to do that. Yes, Tracy's saying, can she please just take a minute to say a massive well done to her son and everyone who walked the Wight today. We waited for your son at the Needles and the atmosphere was amazing. Fantastic job done by all. That's amazing. So anybody doesn't know, anybody who's not familiar and not from the Isle of Wight, every year we, except in COVID times, we have a walk the Wight. And there are all sorts of different walks. Which walk did he do, Tracy? I don't know all the different ones. But there are short walks for people, you know, I think there's a school children's walk and there's walks for people with buggies and there's a whole long walk. There's so many different walks. I think the long walk is about, I don't know how long the long walk is. I know that somebody I saw said, oh, I'm a failure. I've only done part of it. And then people said, no, you're not. You've already done 20 miles. How can you be a failure if you've walked 20 miles for charity? Sorry to bother. He did the whole walk, 26.5. Oh, so it's like a marathon. It's like the marathon, isn't it? No, I don't mind you butting in, Tracy, because I want to know the answers. So, you know, and I told everybody misinformation because when I was live streaming yesterday at the beginning of Riverfest, I said, oh, and Walk the Wight is on today. And I totally lost the plot, didn't I, before I'd even got the plot. It was only a bit later on when I was at the Ride Carnival stand, and somebody said to me, "Oh, Sean, my son's doing the Walk the Wight," and I said, "Well, why is he here then?" Because he was on the stand. I said, "Why is he here if he should be walking the Wight?" She said, "No, it's tomorrow." So I'm having to label my videos that I said it was yesterday. Had to relabel them. And so that I said, oh no. So in the notes, I've had to put a mistake. You know, I told you the wrong information, but never mind. It doesn't matter. And it was lovely. I don't know whether it was rather hot, so I think some people, you know, might have got a bit roasted today. But it's always nice when the sun shines, and the people walking the Wight, the branding of our hospice for whom they are walking is yellow. And I think yellow is such a lovely bright colour and the bright sunshine. So that would have been amazing. So we've nipped from Friday night to today, and then we'll go back to Friday night in a minute, and then we'll do the others. But no, well done, Tracy. Please give him, you know, a big round of applause from us over here. Anybody who does that is amazing. I've never walked the Wight. I once did walk that distance once in my life when I was a youngster. Never again. That's not things I do. Now people say to me, oh Lynn, you're so good at everything, and I say, no, I'm not. I'm good at the things I know I can do. So lots of people only see me being successful because I only pick the things I can do. But ask me to walk the Wight, that's something I can't do. But it's something other people can do. We've all got our strengths, and you know, it's wonderful to see people like Tracy's son and so many. I don't know, have you any idea, Tracy, how many people walked the white today? Just amazing, you know. And even if they only did a short distance, it doesn't matter. You know, Andrea's coming in there saying, "Well done." It's amazing. Our island is full, and I suppose most of the world is like this. I don't know, but certainly the UK, we have so many charities. They have the whole walk, which is 26.5 miles. This is Tracy's giving me the information. Thank you, Tracy. Or they can go from Bembridge to Carisbrooke, which is 12.5 miles, or Carisbrooke to the Needles, which is 14 miles, or there's the flat walk. There's Sandown to Shide, and then the children can sign up for 4 miles, which is Freshwater Bay to the Needles. Thank you very much, Tracy, because I never really knew. I knew that they got options, but I didn't quite know what, you know, what all the options were. So thank you for filling that in for me. You think there are about 9,000 people walking. I know all the pictures I see. There's so many of them. And I'm hoping that we might see some drone footage. I'm sure there will be some drone footage showing all those people in all their... Did he have a yellow T-shirt on? Or you know, so they don't have to, but some do and some don't. And, you know, if it was the drone footage, it would be just a lovely yellow, a yellow snake winding along, wouldn't it? And, of course, of the hospice, beautiful yellow. Show you a very one, because well, excuse me, this is the emblem. Oh, now I've just had a message up saying some of my destinations have errors. Just a minute, I'm just going to see what this is doing. Let's look. Right, okay, not to worry. Now how do I come back? Let's come back to my live. Oh, how do I get back to my live? Oh, I see. I'm obviously not able to stream to YouTube. It's not streaming to YouTube. It's just streaming to Facebook. I got a message up. I don't know what's going on tonight. When I was trying to reschedule, it was giving me a job trying to reschedule. So anyway, we're just on Facebook, but not to worry. These things happen. So yes, so this is the emblem of the Mountbatten Hospice, and that Walk the White was for the Mountbatten Hospice, and it cost, I think, something like 50,000 to keep it open. I don't know. He didn't have a yellow T-shirt, but there was SpongeBob SquarePants, and a man did it dressed as Charlie Chaplin. So many people dressed up. Yeah. Hello, Kath. No, Kath, I've just had a message to say that it's not coming. There's been a tech issue, and it's not on YouTube. I did schedule it to YouTube, Kath, but it's not coming on YouTube. So you need to flip over to my Go Live Granny Facebook page. Oh, I don't know. Do you use Facebook? So I hope Kath can see that message. Let me just hang on a minute, folks. Can you? I don't know. Kath, can you hear me? If it's not streaming to YouTube, I don't know whether she'll hear me. Wait a minute. Let's go. Let's open up. Here we go. I just sent her a quick message on Messenger in case she can't hear me, because she's messaged. Oh, you're watching on your telly on YouTube. Well, Kath, you must be in my live, because the comments coming here. I scheduled, and Andrea came on and told me that she couldn't hear me, so I had to kill the broadcast and start again and reschedule. But obviously, it's to YouTube, but you can obviously hear me. So it's done it again. Some of your destinations have errors. I'm not going to fiddle about. I'm just going to carry on. And if you can't hear me, Kath, then if you have an issue, pop over to the Go Live Granny on Facebook, or wait until it comes back as the replay. But it's nice if you can join in. So we're having a little discussion. So you can, it's fine. Oh, well, I don't know why they're saying it's not working then, because they're fibbing, aren't they? Anyway, so I was telling about my wonderful weekend, and I started off by talking about Friday night, and then proud mum Tracy popped in because she wanted us to, and rightly so, and no criticism here, Tracy, rightly so, she popped in because she wanted us all to know that her son had done Walk the White, and the whole distance Walk the White. That's a long way, and it was a very hot day. So, kudos to everybody who took part, even if they only did a little bit, you know, like the guy I know who said, oh, I am a failure because I didn't do it. And when people said, well, how far did you get, where did you go to, and they worked out that he'd already walked 20 miles. I don't call 20 miles a failure, do you? So everybody who's done anything to walk the way, that's amazing. So anyway, you know, do chip in with whatever you want to talk about, you know, if all your proud moments and other things. But I'll go back to Friday night at the start of my weekend, and as I said, I was in bed just about to tuck down when my son, my brother, put into the family WhatsApp group that he was watching the Auroras Borealis. Sorry, I have a struggle getting around. Even the volunteers who were marshals. Sorry, what was that a second comment? Wait a minute. Oh, the marshals were dressed up as well. I mean, it's amazing. It's just a wonderful event, isn't it? So Friday night, I was just going to tuck down. I was tired. I needed to get up reasonably early to get into Newport for 10 o'clock because I wanted to live stream the band as it came from the town square down to the riverside and the start of Riverfest. And so I should have been, you know, trying to get to bed early, but of course I was in bed. I'd been doing some crafting on the bed and just going to tuck down, and this message came, and I thought, oh, I ought to get out of bed and go and look out my window, but I'm tired and I don't want to. But then I thought, people go right across the world to see this phenomenon, these wonderful colours in the sky, and all I've got to do is go and look out of my window. So I thought it would be very silly not to, because it'd probably be the only chance I ever get. So I got up and I went to my window, and I've got French doors. I've got a Juliet balcony, so that's one of those things where, you know, you've got the French doors, you open the doors, but you can't go out. There's just a railings, so it's not really a balcony at all. But I can open the French doors and the balcony. You know that the railings stop anybody falling out the door. So anyway, because I'm like a first floor flat. I've only got garages under me, but, you know, it's like being on the first floor. And opposite me, I've got a green space, which is lovely. So I looked out and I couldn't see anything. Well, I didn't think I could see anything. I looked up at the sky and it was sort of blackish, but it had this very faint grey, it looked like cloud, but a faint, you know, it was sort of like that. A display of cloud like that, if that can describe it to you. So I thought, oh, well, there's not much to see here. But I had my phone in my hand, as I usually do, and I put my phone up. My phone is an iPhone, and I put my phone up, and it obviously knew what to do without me telling it, because all of a sudden, when I looked at the camera, it wasn't like it was up there. Up there it was black and grey, and suddenly all these beautiful lights came onto my camera, and my camera went into it took 3 seconds to take the photograph. So somehow the magic of the iPhone took the picture. I had no idea that it would do that. I had no idea at all. And if I hadn't have tried, if I just looked out the window, I thought, oh, there's nothing much to see here, I'll go back to bed, I would have missed it. But no, I got some lovely pictures of it. And so I was really delighted, pleased I got out of bed. Anyway, then I went back to bed and had some sleep. And then I got up and I made myself a picnic before I went out, because I'm doing Slimming World and I like to stick with the things that I can have, but I also have dietary requirements too. So I made the picnic, never actually ate my lunch till nearly 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening. Can you believe it? The newer iPhones go automatically into night mode and take great pictures. There we are, Kath saying that. So, well, who knew? I didn't know, but what a good job I put it up, because it did it for me. So that was amazing. So, yes, so I was a bit slow getting out. I wanted to get the 9:15 bus, because that would give me plenty of time to get into Newport, get down to the riverside, and be ready in position, because the band walks from the town square You saw the lights. Absolutely beautiful. Lovely, Kath. So the band was coming from the town square down to the riverside. Now, the number 9 bus that I get, one comes down Fairley and one comes down Statler. So they both come to the same point. But one of them, the Fairley bus, I could get off and go down a tunnel under the road. You know, what do you call it? A little underpass bit. The other way, I wasn't sure where to go, and of course, the bus that came, the one that I actually got on, so I didn't get the 9:15. I got the 9:34 or something. But it got me. Well, no, it must have been before past, because it got me there. Well before 10. But I was in Staplers and I wasn't sure. There's no road. There's no lights to help you cross the road down at that bottom a bit of Staplers and Fairley. And if I'd come down Fairley, there's, you can walk back a bit and go under a tunnel to get the other side for the riverside. And so I was on the bus and I was asking people what, and they said, oh, you can walk down there and there's a tunnel. Well, coming back, I found a different tunnel. There's 2 little bits of tunnel and one of them I'd never been in. So coming back, somebody showed me, what to do. But anyway, I got there and I got in position. I could hear the band coming, but they hadn't arrived at the riverside by the time I was in position. So I got into position at 10 by 10 o'clock, ready for. And I stood in the road that goes up to the parking bit at the riverside. Riverside is a building. It's a venue. And I was standing in the bit of the road there, and the parade was being led by Ace Waste, and Ace Waste is one of our refuse people. It's just a load of rubbish. No, not just a load of rubbish, but it is. It's a refuse. They take your waste away, which is why I make a joke that it's a load of rubbish, because it is my rubbish they take away. So anyway, I know Johnny, whose business it is, and I know his son. Yes, Kath's saying Ace Waste fab. She's used them. They're coming to give me a quote to take my dishwasher away, Kath, this week. Because I decided I want it out the way, because I want that space to store a lot of my tinned food. I thought and Kath knows my flat, so I want to put my tinned food onto trolleys and push it in the gap where the dishwasher used to be, because I'm not replacing the dishwasher. I decided I wasn't going to spend £300 on a dishwasher, and so I knitted myself some scrubbies. Those little things that you do washing up with. And they're amazing. And because I'm well enough now, I can still stand up and do my washing up, which is nothing to do with what happens at the weekend. Well, washing up happens at the weekend, but that's not really what I thought I was going to talk about. Anyway, Ace Waste are amazing. Let's give them a shout out. Anybody on the island who wants rubbish taken away or quoted for, all sorts, they'll do it for you. And I can speak with personal experience, and so can Kath. So, because we like to promote local businesses, that's what we do. We hop in and do that. Anyway, I was standing there thinking, well, they're going to go along, straight along and come this way. And I'm standing here, and all of a sudden somebody's saying, Lynn, get out the way, because the band were going to go that way. But Rob is Johnny's son, who works in the business, he was going to come round here, obviously, and get out the way. But I was standing in the road. I said, "Oh, don't run me over!" You can hear me on my video saying, "Don't run me over." No, they weren't going to run me over, but I had to get out the way. So I had to shuffle me and not Lilac Lil. Lilac Lil was my previous trolley that helps me walk. This is a shopping trolley. This is Navy Nora, my shopping trolley that I use as a walker. And then it's a seat as well, so I can sit on it if there's no seats available. It's brilliant. And my community paid for it, which was amazing. I was buying it, and they knew I was buying it, and they had they somehow had a secret group and a whip round, and they paid for it for me. I am so blessed. I have such a wonderful community, and you'll see as we go further on today, how my community has worked. It's amazing, and I found out something today I didn't realize before about the community. Good stuff. So anyway. So the band came, and I've just uploaded that first bit of video. So I used to live stream all these things, and then it went straight up onto the onto social media. But these days I prefer to do it as a video, because that way you don't get any signal blips. You know, when you're doing live streaming, you're dependent on this signal, and sometimes it's cut out, and then I've missed things I'm trying to get. So I do it as a video, and then I upload it on YouTube. It takes more time, because if you do it as a, you know, straight onto live stream, I don't have to do any uploading afterwards. But you know, it's a better experience in the end for me, and it's better for I think a lot of it's better for the audience. I mean, it's nice if you're watching it live while it's actually happening, but if it then starts wavering and the picture goes fuzzy and the sound goes funny, it's not such a great experience, is it? So I wanted, you know, so I'd like to give you the better experience now. So I did it as video. I also thought it might not be as heavy on my battery, because I've got 2 battery packs, and before I was ill and doing all that live streaming, I used to take 2 battery packs out with me every time. I'd go out with a full battery on the phone, and then I'd go out with 2. Oh dear, this is because I'm talking. Sorry, I'm just going to get a drink. And don't you hate these new bottles where this is attached? You can't get that off, because they don't want it lost, and you've got to recycle it with the bottle, but it gets in the way. Don't you find it gets in the way? I do. Let's see how we can do. Anyway, mine is not the reason why. Why should I ask these questions, you know, that when something's difficult? Anyway, moving swiftly on. So I have uploaded the first video now, the opening one. Folks, do share the video if you think there's people that would like to come and join us in our mad community here. You know, people who don't mind seeing a mad, wacky granny. We have people who don't like that, and I say, if you don't like it, scroll on by. It's what your thumb's for. I have people being rude. I said, don't be rude, just scroll on. You don't need to watch me unless you want to. So anyway, so I've done that first video has gone up, but now, because I've been ill last year, and it's taken. Hello, Abby. Sorry, I didn't spend long chatting to you yesterday. I was already chatting to other people, and then I know you probably had to get on and do other things, but I felt a bit, sorry that I didn't really have much conversation with you yesterday, but I might have some conversation with you tomorrow if you come to the workshop. I will have, if you come to the workshop, I will have conversation with you. That sounds like I might talk to you. I might not know. I will. Tracy's saying also she didn't realise last Friday night you walked over to Cowes to watch the Queen Anne ship make her maiden voyage and didn't realise till you got home and put your pictures on Facebook that my David commented on them, and I didn't realise he was stood right next to us. I didn't. Oh, wow! Tracy, he's not mentioned that at all. He didn't mention that. All he mentioned was, late at night, the Aurora Borealis. So, I didn't know. I haven't spoken to him. He only did that on family WhatsApp group. Anyway, yes. So I decided because I'd been ill, and obviously it's taken me over a year to recover from pneumonia. I need to pace myself. I don't want to go back there anytime soon. It was not a nice place to be. But I have got better, and up until about a month or 2 months ago, I felt like I was fully recovered. But in the last 2 months, I've got even better in myself, and more bubbly and more, before my get up and go had got up and went, but now I've got more energy. People are saying I look so well and all that. And actually, I feel like I could almost run down the road. Not quite, and I'm not even going to try that. But that's what, I do feel like that. But even so, I knew it was a hot day yesterday. I knew that there's a lot to see. I needed to pace myself. And that's what I did. Oh, but I was talking about the battery packs, wasn't I? So I didn't know where my battery packs were. And then I suddenly remembered that I'd tucked them on the corner of my desk here. So I found my battery packs and they were still full, the batteries. I checked them. But iPhone, Apple, they now don't like you they don't like any time you using stuff that's not an Apple charger. And Tracy's saying, how did I cope yesterday? It was so hot and stuffy at Riverfest. You did look very well yesterday. Do you know, I coped because I paced myself. And then I went inside for a while, and then I sat in under people's gazebos in the shade. I really paced it, Tracy. I was so determined that I wasn't going to make myself ill in the sun. I did feel once or twice that I should get out of the sun because it was really quite warm on my arms, but I haven't got sunburn. So it was okay, and I really felt on top of the world, and it was lovely to see the sun. It was quite warm, wasn't it? So anyway, yeah, so I paced myself. So I'd done some videoing. So I videoed oh no, I was just telling you about the Apple. Apple don't like you having those double-ended chargers now that are not Apple ones, because so they've made it difficult for us because you now have a charger that's got a plug on one end and a thing to go on your phone the other end, which means I can't plug it into my battery charger because the battery charger is a USB port. I think I might be able to still get some wires, but obviously they're going to make it as difficult as possible. So I had these two chargers, and I had some wires that had the USB on, but a lot of them, you know how charger wires don't last very long, do they? And I had to go around. I gathered all the ones I had up in the flat because I'm not very good at throwing things away when they don't work, when they finish. And so I went round the flat gathering up several, because I had several in different places before, so I don't have to keep one and keep running around the flat with the wire to plug in. And so I took them with me, but I didn't know if any of them worked. But I hadn't had time to sort it out. So what I did was do some live streaming. So I did the band, and then I went up and did the opening. Claire Critchison was doing the speech, and the High Sheriff was crowning the Newport Carnival Queens, and I got all of that, and I saw Michael Paler and other people that I knew, and Keith Hillbridge. I have never actually had a conversation with him before, but we know each other on social media. And he said hello to me, and I'm looking and I'm thinking, do I know you? And I had to say that. When I was ill with after I've been ill, it's like my brain has had a computer file wiped, and I keep forgetting. I forget a lot of people's names. I might know their faces, or I might think, yes, I think I know you. And of course, a lot of people know me, and I don't know them because they watch me on here. And I might not know them, but anyway, when he said Keith, I knew straight away. I knew his surname came straight away. I knew it, and we had a lovely conversation. So it was nice. It was nice to actually connect with him. Although we sorry, excuse me, my top is showing off my bra straps. Sorry about that. And so it was nice to actually meet for the first time. And he wasn't the only person from the community that I'd met for the first time yesterday or today. So that was interesting. Tracy's just putting up a comment here. Lynn Morton's coming in. Hello, Lynn. Lynn is one of my crafting acquaintances and friends from a crafting life. Nice to see you, Lynn, in here. Tracy's saying I can buy an adapter that changes it from Type-C to USB. Tash just told me, if you need to know which one is right, pop me a message and she'll let you know as she's got. Yes, that would be amazing. Thank you, Tracy, because this is how I get my information. I put out a problem and you lot always help me solve it. It's amazing. Yes, so that would be brilliant, Tracy, because Actually, one of my wires did work yesterday, and it did plug me into my battery pack, but I wasn't sure if it was going to, and it would limit how much I could actually record for everybody. So what I did some recording. I did that first bit, then I went up a bit, I took a load of pictures, and I did some more. And then I decided, right, it's hot, my battery's running down. So this is my phone battery, not the charger. And I didn't know if the other one was going to charge it. So I decided to go into the Riverside building, use the facilities while I was there, because that's always a good plan. Too much information, I know. And then sit and find somewhere in there where I could plug my Apple charger into the wall. So there is a little bit. I knew in the entrance there was a little bit with some armchairs, and I thought, I don't think many people have been there because they'll all be outside or in the canteen. And I was right. There was these spaces there, and so I went and sat there, and I thought, well, the Apple one actually this is the one. It's here on the desk. Look. So if anybody doesn't know what I'm talking about. And I will get on with telling you about my amazing weekend in a minute. But this is the Apple charger. So, this goes into the phone and this goes into the wall. That's good because that bit all closes down. So you haven't got spiky bits if you've got it in your bag or anything. But anyway, so yes, please, Tracy, I would love to know about that so I can sort myself out. Especially as I'm going to be doing some more live streaming. I've already got a weekend of... Hi, Elizabeth. I've already got a busy weekend next weekend because I noticed there's 2 things on, or there's at least 3 things next weekend I wanted to go to. And while I was recovering, I thought, I can only do 1 event here and 1 event there because I'm going to burn myself out. But I proved to myself that if I pace myself like I did yesterday, I will be okay. And if not, I'm going to stop because there's no way I'm going to make myself ill again. Well, I didn't make myself ill. Obviously, I was ill. But if I feel, like my health is going to become an issue, I would stop because there's no way I want to ever get as ill as I did before. So I paced myself. So I went inside. And while I was inside, I did a little video that I was putting out saying, I'm down here at the Riverside and that. And then I put that up on social media. And then while I was sitting there were some young lads, and they were messing about, in the way that young lads do. They weren't doing anything wrong or naughty. They were just having a bit of a what young boys do. Tash just sent you a picture. Thank you, Tracy. Oh yes, I see the message coming. Thank you. Don't overdo it, Lynn. Look, yeah, absolutely, Lynn, because it's no good. It's no good doing everything like I used to do for the community before and then making myself so ill. So I'm not. Thank you. I know when I've had enough now, and I know to stop if I need to. But I didn't want to stop yesterday. I was enjoying it too much, and I met so many people that I know. I met new people. I learned about new things on the Isle of Wight. So it was amazing. But anyway, I spent quite a long time inside, and of course it was in the shade, so I was nice and cool. And I thought, well, I can sit here and have my drink, and so I had some of my. I'd taken one of these with me, and this is my 0 sugar Fanta, pineapple and grapefruit. I like this. And it's good for Slimming World. I'm allowed this without having to count any naughty things. This, I can drink as much of this as I like. No, I don't drink too much fizz, but it was nice and refreshing. So I took it with me. And by the way, anybody on the island, if you're on the island and you're going to see me anytime in the next 4 weeks, I want to collect bottles like this because I want I want to cut the bottoms of the bottles off because I need to make them into poppies before the 8th of June. Because we're going to do a D-Day display, and these make lovely poppies if you paint them red. So, but I need to be able to collect some, or I've got to drink an awful lot of pop myself, which I don't really want to do in case I do go pop. Anyway, so I was indoors, and there were these youngsters, sort of. they were just being boys and a little bit boisterous in this area. And of course, I was actually recording at one point, and so I just indicated them that I was recording, and maybe they might not want. They might be kind enough not to shout, so that they had no idea I was recording, and so then they pricked up their ears, or at least one of them did, and they said, "Oh, what are you recording?" I said, "Oh, I'm known as the Go Live Granny." So we had this wonderful conversation with these youngsters, and there were 4 of them, and one of them was in a Scout uniform, but then eventually the other 3 went away. But this one in the Scout uniform, I think he said he was 13. And I had the most amazing conversation with him. And he's clearly an entrepreneur. He was very interested in what I was doing, but they were also very impressed when I told them that on my Go Live Granny page I've got 2.1 thousand followers, and they said, "Wow!" And I thought, well, it's just built up over time, hasn't it? But anyway, he was coming up with loads of entrepreneur. I said, you know what? I said, my son was an entrepreneur when he was 12. I know I told this story the other day. He started a tuck shop at school. It was a private school in London, and I got called in and got told off that my son was being naughty. So I made the appropriate noises to the headmaster. And before we got to the school gate, I said to my son, I said, "You're going to do it again, aren't you?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Well, don't get caught next time." And I know if I'd have quashed that entrepreneurial spirit, he wouldn't have gone on to do what he does today. And I was telling this youngster guest, I said, "What do you think my son did?" I said, I got called into the headmaster. What do you think he did? And he sort of almost guessed that Tristan had run this sweet shop. Anyway, more fool the school for not having a tuck shop like that. Anyway, but this guy was very entrepreneurial, and I said to him, I said, "I'd love to take a picture of you if you're allowed. Are you allowed to have your picture done and be on social media? Because you've been an inspiration." The conversation went, and he was an inspiration to me, and I could see which Scout group he belonged to as well, because it was on his arm. And so I said, "I tell you what," I said, "I'll take your picture if that's okay with you. I won't put anything on social media, but when you go home, can you ask your parents if I can put it up? And if the answer's no, then I won't, and I'll get rid of it. If the answer's yes, then that's okay." He said, "My dad's in the other room." His dad was the Scout leader, and they had a whole room of stuff they were selling to raise funds for the Scout group. So I went in and had a wonderful conversation with his dad. I mean, who knew all this was going to happen yesterday? There were so many things that happened yesterday, and then going on to today. So I went and chatted to him, and then I said, "Am I allowed to have the picture? Am I allowed to put it up?" He said, "Yes, that was okay, no problem there." So I never do any of that sort of stuff. If I'm out and children are in a parade, I think it's a given, isn't it, that the parade people can record the parade, but I never home in. I try to miss out children when I'm taking pictures and things, unless I've been specifically asked to take something of them. And that happened yesterday, and I had to have a double check, because when I was down recording the Medina marching band, they'd started and I was somewhere else, and I suddenly heard them, and I thought, "Oh, I've got to get down there, because I've done the other band, Vectis Corps of Drums, but I haven't done Medina marching band. I better go and make it fair." So I got down there, but of course the crowds were already in front of me, but there was a little gap. No, there wasn't. There were some people standing there, and they came away. So I quickly nipped into the gap that they made, but there were still people in front of me. And so I was sort of trying to record and hold my camera right up over the heads of everybody, because you can do, you can get pictures like that. But it was a bit tricky. And then people started to move and let me come through. And there was a lady next to me who moved her little boys out, across, and said, "Oh, let this lady through." She said, "I know you." She said, "We watch your videos." Anyway, while I was, recording some of that, she said, "Would I record?" And I had to do a double take, because I wasn't sure if she was saying, "Don't record my boy." I wasn't. Her boys were at the side, and I was doing the band. but she said, can you record my boys? Because we watch you all the time and they would love to watch themselves on your video. I said, did you say I can? She said yes. So then so what I did, I recorded the band and then I panned onto them watching the band. And then I panned back to the band. And so they were so excited. And so that was fun. That was fun. So I met quite a few people who know me, but I don't know them. They say, "Oh, we know who you are. We watch your videos and that." So you see, I do have a bit of a reputation over on the over here on the island, and sometimes people give me not such a good reputation, but never mind. Anyway, so it was just so nice. The atmosphere was wonderful and it was marvelous. But as I say, I'd gone inside, so I paced myself. I had quite a long time inside while I was charging up my phone. And I was sitting there and thinking, oh, I ought to be outside recording. But no, I'm going to pace myself. I'm going to do it in my own time. I'm going to be here all the day if I want to. If I want to go home, I'll go home. And I remember being there with you, Kath. What year was it? How long ago was it? When it was a really hot day like it was today. And Kath bought me the most enormous ice cream. It was amazing. But I missed the ice cream yesterday. The queue was so long. I know that I'm a Slimming World and maybe shouldn't. Thank you, Abby. See you tomorrow. Don't worry if you can't make it, but if you can, that's great. 2021. Thank you, Kath. When we had those enormous ice creams. And so the Plaza Ices were there. And of course, there's more than one ice cream van, but you know, I know Gaz who runs the Plaza Ices, and I thought, oh, I'll have one of those later. Well, I never got to have one because the queue was so long. While I was recording, I didn't want to be holding that, so I thought, oh, I'll do it on the way back. But but because I'd been inside and doing things there, and then I met lots of people on the way, and then I sat down in the Age UK gazebo because it was hot and they've got shade in there. So I said, I'm coming round the other side to sit with you. I know the girls in there. And so I sat there a long time. And by the time I'd done all of that and then bumped into other people, it was 5 o'clock and Plaza Ices had gone. He was going on to another event. So that's probably because there were still people around. And I think if he hadn't had another event, he probably would have still been there. But I did notice that he'd been later on that he'd been at another event. He put some things up on social media and I said, oh, sorry, I missed you. And he said, yes, I saw you in the crowd. But he said that, you know, obviously we missed each other. So. But anyway, we'll catch up sometime. But I shouldn't have had the ice cream anyway. I did have a very naughty cake. So one of the first stores I came to was Cherry Godfrey. Not Cherry Cake, Cherry Godfrey. Cherry Godfrey's a name of a business on the well, I think it's a national business. I think they're around the country. But I needed to get some insurance quotes, and they do insurance. And I went up to the stall and I said, you know what? I said, I was so impressed with your customer service. I said, I got in touch with you and almost straight away you got back in touch with me, rang me to sort out what I needed. I mean, it was just a quote I wanted because I'm getting quotes in. My children said, get more than one quote, Mum. You know. So, but I was so impressed. But I did say to him, well, at the moment, you're not coming in as the best deal, and so, but I wanted 3 quotes, so I've got 2 quotes, and I have it's for my buildings insurance. I have my contents insurance with the local company. It's a local broker, and the manager rang me up. See, you know, I'm hot on customer service. The manager rang me up on a Thursday about 2 weeks ago, and to discuss my insurance, you know, because that was just renewal. So I've renewed that because I've had it with them and I was happy with that. I said, oh, I want to talk about buildings insurance. Oh, I'll ring you tomorrow, he said, 2 weeks ago. Well, he didn't ring me tomorrow. I don't mean tomorrow because tomorrow's tomorrow. He didn't ring me the day he said he would. It was a Friday he was supposed to ring. So he didn't ring. So a few days later, I think I messaged. I rang again, and I couldn't get through. I think nobody answered the phone. I think, or something happened. So I emailed and said, if you want my business, please will you get in touch with me? Nothing. So then at the end of last week, I rang again, and probably about Wednesday, I rang again, and a girl answered the phone, and she said, "Oh, he's on the phone." I said, "Well, can you get him to ring me when he gets off the phone?" "Well, if he's still on the phone, that's a blooming long phone call. That's like a 5-day phone call because he hasn't rung me back." So actually, I'm not interested in giving them my business. So that made it even more interested that I wanted to say to Cherry Godfrey, thank you for getting back to me so quickly. So anyway, the person I spoke to on the phone wasn't on the stand, but the people were so attentive, and they're going to go and I said, "You're not coming in best at the moment." So they said, "Oh, well, I'll tell you what, we'll go away and see what we can do." And we'll ring you on Monday. And you know what? I bet they will ring me on Monday. I bet you I will be able to report to you that they rang me on Monday, because they were those sort of people. But they also had some naughty cakes on their stand, and they said, "Have a cake." I said, "No, I'm doing Slimming World. I shouldn't do it." "Oh, blow it, I'm going to." So I went rogue and I had a cake. But actually, I didn't have a lot of. With Slimming World, you count SYNS, SYNS. It is awful service, isn't it, Kath? And if I hadn't already renewed my contents, I would have taken it away from them. But it's not good enough. I think that happened to me before with them over something. I do know that when I was having issues over something else, I remember sitting in their office while they sorted it out, because I wasn't going anywhere till it got sorted. I'm one of those. I'm going to sit here till you sort it. Something to do with a boiler, and when my mum was, alive and all that. If it takes that long to the company to get in touch with you, can you imagine how long it takes if I need help? Absolutely, Lynn, you're very right. So they're not going to have my business because I don't like their customer service. For me, it's about how people, treat you. So anyway, but I had a cake there and it was very nice. Let's do this. This cough only happens when I talk, and of course when I'm at home, so it's not any pneumonia or anything at the minute. I'm at home most of the time on my own, and I don't tend to talk to myself, or if I do, I don't talk in the way that I'm talking to you. I was talking to friends I haven't seen for years today, and the cough started again. So don't panic, folks. It's not that cough that those of you who were watching me when I was becoming ill with pneumonia, and you all said go to the doctors. It's not that. It's just because I'm talking too much. But how do you do a live stream like this without talking? It's a bit difficult, isn't it? So anyway, yes. So yeah, Kath remembers when I was ill. Yes, Kath and I met virtually online when she saw me live streaming, and we've been friends for ages. And then we actually met in real life, which is lovely. And I have met over the weekend. I've met 2 of my people who watch me on social media. I've met 2 that I hadn't met in person before over this weekend, and it's just amazing. So that's what made part of the thing amazing. So anyway, I've got some leaflets I've collected up from going round, and the Riverfest. I mean, it was an amazing event. There was I've got a friend who has a disabled child, and she has a wheelchair, quite a big wheelchair for his disabilities. Oh, Kath saying she remembers me sitting in the office until I saw somebody. Yeah, absolutely. And actually, that's the manager. He took me home. I went and sat in there till they sorted it out, and then he gave me a lift home. So this is the same guy who's not talking to me now. Anyway, I saw Michelle yesterday, She was one of the people I bumped into. Now Michelle, she writes a blog about a special needs blog, because she has a special needs child who has a wheelchair. I think he has more than one wheelchair for different needs. I'm not quite sure. I'm still learning a lot about him. But she's become an ambassador for the Ride Accessibility Beach project. But she also, points out when life is difficult for people like her, because her child has been in a wheelchair. He's been disabled from birth. And when he was little, she could carry him, but he's quite big. I don't know how old he is, but it's difficult for her to carry him now. And she's amazing, this lady, what she does. And I've watched her, and I knew her from watching her online. And then one day last year, I was watching the Mardi Gras in Cross Street in Ryde, and suddenly realised I was actually standing next to her. So we connected there, and we see each other at lots of events, and I follow what she does. But I'm very impressed and very, very intrigued to see that she's actually becoming an ambassador for to do with accessibility on the island for other people, because it's not just people like her with a child in a wheelchair. It's people like me with mobility issues, and other people with mobility scooters. And there's so much, but the Ryde Town Council are doing a beach accessibility in Ryde. They're doing a beach accessibility project where we've got boardwalks coming, where they're going to put, in the summer, they're going to put boards across the beach for people like me, for people like her, so that we can get onto the beach without an into. And I went the other day, some of you will know, I went to the meeting down at Hover Travel, and then we went on the Hover, and we went out into the Solent a little bit, along in front of Ryde Beach, and further up the beach at Apley, where they actually brought the hovercraft right in line with the boardwalk, with the boards, and she was able to come down, and so was I. We could come down off the Hover, down the ramp, off the Hover, and straight onto the boardwalk, which was on top of the sand, which you wouldn't be able to do if it was just sand. So, this is amazing. And of course, doing things like this will make our island more accessible for lots more people. So it will improve our tourism, as well as improving the life of people who live here. And, I'm becoming a bit more of an ambassador because my mobility is not so easy. I'm now spotting things, and of course I do the workshops for Jan. Jan runs Isle Access, my friend Jan, and she's all about accessibility for the island, because years ago she told me how much money we're losing in tourism because we haven't got the information out there. So she's been compiling information and trying to get it put out there, and actually I'm delighted, because they're just having a new website, and it's going to be such a whizzy website, and you'll be able, there's going to be interactive bits on it, I think. I'm not going to try and tell you because I'll get it all wrong, but she'll give me more information, and then I'll be able to share it with you. Because if you were, now you see, my friend I met today, who I haven't seen for about 8 years, she's on the island. They came to the island for a holiday, and so they looked me up. I haven't seen them for 8 years. It was wonderful, and they took me out to dinner. And she has mobility issues. She has more difficulty than I do. And where we went today, I haven't been in there for ages, but I won't name it on here now because I don't want to, but they need to have an accessibility audit, because we were near the front of the park. It was a pub restaurant, and we were near the front, and so there were toilets over that way, but to get to them you had to go up a couple of steps. Now I could manage the steps, but for her it was much more difficult. But there were toilets at the back. I don't know whether there was an accessible toilet, but If we're sitting at the front of the pub, we don't want to walk through all the tables to get to the back, even if there is an accessible toilet there, because that doesn't work either. There's so much work to be done around accessibility. I didn't know half the stuff I know before I met Jan, and then now I'm more having more issues myself. I get to notice these things, and I do feedback. It's all about giving feedback on things, because I'm not saying that there are a lot of our places where if they knew there was an issue and they could easily put it right, they would. But they don't. Half the people don't know what all the difficulties are. But Jan goes out and does audits for these people with businesses to recommend. Oh, look, if you did it now, that place today, it had to come in. It had to in the doorway, as I noticed as we went out. On the mat by the door, there was a dip. So that anybody not very steady on their feet, that dip could tip them. And that could be so easily put right, because that would be just a question of filling in what's underneath. Yeah, Tracy's, and this is exactly right, Tracy. Why can't people with mobility issues go on the beach like others can? I was just going to say there are a few places on the island where people can't go into due to accessibility. Well, I don't know if you've been following any of it, Tracy, but the idea is Ryde Town Council are working with one or two other people, and there's fundraising going on to raise the funds, because not only is it about putting the boards down, but it's about having accessible wheelchairs that can actually go in the sea. Evan likes to go in the sea, and so given the right equipment, he can go in, be pushed into the sea on an accessible wheelchair, and there's hoists and all sorts of things. It was amazing. I've actually got the videos that were taken at this meeting the other day. They've been sent to me, but I haven't. I've got to download them and download them from Google Photos, or no, download them from Google Drive and upload them to YouTube so that I can share them, because I want to get that all out so people know. But Tracy, once they've done it in Ryde and made it a success, they're going to go round the island, making all the other beaches accessible. This is just amazing, because why should people miss out? There was another chap who's gave us a talk, and he's in a wheelchair, so this is my sort of generation. He might have been a bit younger than me, I don't know, my sort of generation. And he said, why should he have to sit up on the esplanade up here and not be able to go down on the sand? And it's when my family come, I tended to more sit up there. They used to sit up near there so that it was easier for me. But sometimes they would lift my trolley down and help me down onto the sand, but not that easy. But yes, why should they? The disabled people have to sit up on the esplanade and not be down on the beach. So that's been put right, and once that's been put right for Ryde, once they've done it for Ryde, and I'm so lucky because I live in Ryde, and I think it's wonderful that they're starting in Ryde. But they've got some really great people here in Ryde, in the places that matter to make things work. So I was delighted when Jan got me an invite to. She said, "Lynn, you need to be at this meeting," and so she got an invite sent to me so I could be there, because she knows that I will be the megaphone and shout it out and let people know what's going on and share all the information. I might not be very good at some things, but I'm very good at being a megaphone. My dad used to call me megaphone now. I think I've told you that before. But I think he had the vision of what I was going to be like now. So anyway, so back to Riverfest. So that's all going on there. But back to Riverfest. So I bumped into I bumped into Michelle, and Evan and her daughter was there. Well, she's got a young daughter, and she's got a daughter who's quite a bit older. So I've met them all now because they were all there the other day, and it's lovely. But she, she's an amazing person, how she copes and what she does. But she's also, so I mention her because she's done some feedback for the Riverfest. Now, the Riverfest was an amazing event, but I didn't realise how difficult it was for her. What they did this year, they moved the stage. So the stage used to be sort of more in the main thoroughfare of where people walked, but this time they moved it right round over there on a car parky bit. So Tracy, you'll know where the stage was probably, but what it meant was that it was more landlocked, and once people were standing there, she couldn't get through. So actually, her daughter couldn't get to see, and people. There were things for the children on the stage going on the stage, and there were grown-ups standing up because, well, they didn't have anywhere to go. I suppose they could have gone outside, but the children then couldn't see past the adults, and so this was comments on Facebook. But you know what? She put it in such a lovely way that she wasn't being critical. She said, "I'm happy to give you feedback and work and help work with you." And it was just lovely. And then somebody else joined in, and they actually then tagged Paddy, who heads up the Riverfest now with his team, his marvelous team, and he said yes, he came on board with the fact that they wanted to actually, help to make a difference. So that's amazing, because this is what it's a community, and it's putting the information out. And that's why I put so much information out, because when the community gets hold of it, we can share it and make it work. Now, Tracy's saying before her nan passed away, she could only go out if you took her in a wheelchair, and a lot of the shops on the island, you couldn't take her as they weren't wheelchair accessible. No, you see, so many were not and still aren't. So instead of leaving her outside with the kids, we didn't go in the shops. It was also the same with mums with twin prams. Absolutely. A lot of places I wouldn't get into when the twins were, yes, because you had twins, because my daughter had twins too, and I knew what that was like a bit, because I went out with them, in her local area where they were when the children were born, and there was no way I was ever going to leave the twins outside while I went in a shop. No way. So if I couldn't get in the shop, I wouldn't go in. They wouldn't get the business. So yes. But it is moving. It is all moving in the right direction. It's just about putting more of the information out there. I mean, I'm not quite sure. I do believe that Visit Isle of Wight have a little bit of information on their website, but I think that they could put a lot more information out there. So let's hope, that something happens with all this, because, as I say, if you have a disability and, you live on the mainland, and you see if you can find the information on the Isle of Wight and it's not available anywhere, but it will be through Isle Access website, because they're going to do this amazing website. And I'm so excited to see what's going on there, and what Jan was telling me. And then if they went to a website for, say, Devon or Cornwall, and it was saying, hey, look, this is what we've got, this is what you can do, or this for the accessibility issues, if the information was there, they'd win the custom, wouldn't they? Because that's the customer service that the people want. If you're booking a holiday, you don't want to spend hours and hours and hours doing research on one place if somewhere else has got it. So, we need to be top of our game. I mean, we've got a wonderful tourism offering. We have a beautiful island and all this. I know we have ferries that, cost a lot, but actually, people don't need to see that too much. It is an issue, but if you book with accommodation, that some of the accommodation gives us discounts on the ferries, and there are ways of getting it cheaper. So it's not that shouldn't rule people out, and so it's just about getting the information out there. So this community and all the communities, it's always about sharing is caring, and that's why I always say, if you see something that's that's good, share it. #sharing is caring. Because and actually the next thing on the thing down here on the top of I got these, collected some leaflets up yesterday, and right here in front of me it says shared lives, talking about sharing, and this one says sharing homes enhancing lives, and this is something I didn't know was a project. Do any of you know this on the island, sharing homes enhancing lives? Yes, Lynn's saying surely because of this Isle of Wight is losing out as well as the community. Absolutely. Absolutely, Lynn. It's totally why Jan set up the Isle Access charity. And she's done so much research and she's done lots of training and things about it. She's found all that. I was gobsmacked when she told me how much the tourism industry was losing because the information wasn't available. So that was quite interesting. Anyway, this is about shared lives, and I'll just tell you quickly about it. And it's a project. Let's see. Right. The Isle of Wight Council is committed to ensuring that vulnerable adults are given every opportunity to live full and independent lives in ordinary homes. And this is a project where you might have somebody who's got space in their house, and they match them with somebody who, a more vulnerable person. And this is an amazing project. I'm not going to go into it all now, but if any of you want it, it's isleofwight.gov.uk/shared lives, and you can find out all about it. It says if you're interested in shared lives, either as a carer or someone who would like to find out if this type of support is right for you, please visit the Shared Lives website or give the team a call or email. Now, you see, if I hadn't gone to Riverfest yesterday, I wouldn't even have known that was a project. But now I know, and it's interesting because I like to share things in the community and always have done. What happened today was quite interesting, and I'll flip to that in a minute. We'll do that now, because my friends who I hadn't seen, I hadn't seen Karen for 8 years. I hadn't seen her husband for longer. She came to the island and did a talk when my son was my son and I put on a conference, and Karen did a talk. She came and gave a talk. So she came without her husband, but we reckon it's 12 years since I last saw her husband and 8 years since I last saw her. So they came and they messaged me and they said, "Oh, we'll take you out to lunch," so they came to pick me up, and they had somebody else in the car, and I didn't know who this lady was. But being me, I said, "Have we met before?" Because I don't mind asking people. I say, I forget sometimes. And she knew who I was, but I didn't know her as such. But apparently, she's one of my online community. Her name's Mandy, and she watched me. She came across my live streams. I don't know how she came across them, but she did. And then after that, she became friends with Karen, and then she ended up being great friends with Karen, and she goes to visit. She actually lives abroad, but she comes over, and she's 3 months over here. I presume she's staying with Karen. I didn't check, but and so she's on holiday here with her, and it was just amazing because suddenly when she said her name, I've seen this name of this person liking my posts and following me and all this. It was just amazing to actually see that, how the network works. The network is like that. It's all about people sharing and all that. So I was absolutely thrilled to bits. She's been following me for years, and so I was so thrilled to meet her. So when I was talking about things, she knew a lot of what I was talking about because she'd seen my broadcasts and watches me. So that was amazing and brilliant to do today. And as I say, yesterday when I was doing the opening and where they were doing this on the stage and crowning the Newport Carnival Queens. The High Sheriff was doing that, and the band, the Vectis Corps of Drums band, was playing, and I was doing all that. And somebody said, "Hello, Lynn," and that was Keith. And I said, "Oh," I looked at him and I knew him. I knew his face, but so many people know me and I don't actually know them. But they've watched me, or I am more forgetful of names and things now, as well. And I said, he said, "Keith," I said, "Have we actually met?" He said, "No, but we're connected online. I follow him and he follows me, on a lot of comments that he makes about the island." And so I said, "Oh, I knew his surname. I get his surname came to me straight away. Once he said his first name was Keith, "Oh yes, I know who you are." So that was amazing. It was just lovely to make that connection, you know, from the community. So that was great. So I saw him, and he'd got his vehicle parked. He was asked to park his vehicle over in that part there, because it was all decorated with pirate type stuff, and the theme for the event was pirates. You know, I missed Gemma, who's on Kids TV. She came down, and I don't. Some of you will know Gemma. I didn't know who she was. CBBS, I think she's on, but I missed her because I was inside having my rest, I think, when she was around. I don't know what time she was on. There was so much going on. It was so different. I never got to every stall. There was too many of them. It was just amazing. But anyway, Shared Lives was one of them. And then somewhere along the line, I picked up the Newport Rowing Club open morning. Somebody must have just popped that in my bag, because I don't remember having a conversation with anybody about rowing. This one I do, becoming a personal assistant. Well, I go up to stalls and I say, tell me about what you do, because then I can be the megaphone mouth and share out all the information if I know. So I collected up leaflets and things. And this was a thing about becoming a personal assistant or looking for a personal assistant. So those two lovely girls, I've taken photographs of loads of these people, and I'll put them all up in the next 2 or 3 days. And so I had a lovely conversation with them, and then it turned out that I knew the mum of one of those girls very well. So that was nice too. And then I picked up this leaflet. This is Sophie's Legacy. Now, I've seen that charity. They do work on the island and they do work on the mainland. Right, so Tracy's saying, did I see some of the Medina marching band on the boat going down the river? No, I didn't. If there's anything out there that I can share that other people, then I will. Were they? I don't suppose they were playing their band on the river. Were they just having a ride? I don't know. I didn't get to. There was so much I didn't get to see. But they had extended it from 4 till 5 this year, so there was. I managed to do an extra hour. But even so, people start packing up an hour early, and it does make me. Oh, they were playing. Excellent. It does make me so cross when an event is scheduled till 5 o'clock, and people have packed up at 4 o'clock. When I was selling books at shows and things like this, I never packed up. It's no good telling the public that you're going to be there till 5 and then everybody's gone home at 4. I would always be the last one away, and you know what? I often did my biggest sale of the day at the end, because the others had all packed up and people wanted to buy and they bought from me. I can remember having many a £50 sale at the end of the day, and I think I was selling children's books that were like, £2-3, something like that. And so, I just thought people are bonkers. Yes, they're tired, but you've got to if it's advertised to the public, there's a duty to be there. Anyway. Not everybody was, but some were, and some stayed right on to the end. And in fact, I'll tell you about the youngsters that did, and because they did, I bought from them, and I'm going to tell you all about them. So anyway, this is Sophie's Legacy. Now, this is in memory of a remarkable young girl who touched so many lives. Now, I think she lost her life. I think she lost her life to a form of cancer. I'm following this on their Facebook page because I see it a lot. And Sophie's wish was for the following to be implemented, and this will be her legacy. She wanted parents to be fed whilst in hospital with their child, because she was in hospital and her parents were not getting fed. It might be the weekend and no staff to do any food or anything. So she made it her wish for parents to be fed whilst in hospital with their child. It's an essential need. She wants improvements to children's hospital food for health and emotional well-being. She wanted play specialists in hospitals 7 days a week, all around the UK, and an increase in childhood cancer funding. Currently only 3%. That's terrible. Health professionals training on childhood cancer to help identify childhood cancer early. The main ethos of the charity is to support families admitted to hospital with their child. The support varies depending on each situation. So it started in Hampshire because she was based in Hampshire, I think. I think I'm right. Or it was not far across the water. And then it's come to the Isle of Wight. And I see all these people local businesses donating food, and they go, somebody will take a whole pile of pizzas or whatever it is they're buying into the hospitals to make sure the parents are fed, because the parents need sustaining while all that's going on. So it's amazing what can be done. Hi Joe. It's amazing what can be done in the wake of a tragedy. So this young lady's lost her life, but she could see where there was a need and she wanted all this to happen, and her parents are making it happen with help from others. They want so we tend to so what we do, change is happening. We tend to offer the following on a referral basis: help with transport costs, fuel vouchers, bus, train passes or taxis, clothes when admitted in an emergency with their child, because of course they might just go to the hospital and have nothing, and it might be a long distance to the hospital, I don't know. I'm just reading this leaflet for the first time. Birthday parties in hospital for parents and children. Yes, because birthdays happen, don't they? Joe's saying hi everyone. He's coming in on YouTube there. All right, Joe is coming in from Australia. That's he's great. It's lovely to see you, Joe. They need emotional support, end of life wishes for children and their families, vouchers for meals at the hospital restaurant for when that is open, but of course they only open some of the time, beauty treatments, nails, haircut, massage, reflexology for parents who need it during long stays. So if you're staying with their child, a bit of pampering would never come amiss, would it? Cost of vouchers, so obviously going for coffee. We provide to every family's in hospital the following: snacks and toiletry box in every parent's room. You've taken ill. Oh, I'm sorry, Joe. Not too good. Well, we all wish you a very speedy recovery, Joe. I hope you get better soon, and I hope it's not you're not too poorly, and that you can make a good recovery. Keep us posted as to how you're going. Another great supporter of the Go Live Granny community. Pizzas on a Saturday night. Yes, so that's what I've seen. I've seen local businesses here on the Isle of Wight paying for the pizzas for one Saturday night or something like that. So it's amazing. Frozen meals from Cook. I think Cook must be the name of a business. I don't know. I think so. I suppose there are microwaves and things in that people might be able to use. I expect that's it. Art practitioner at Portsmouth Hospital and the community. Parent packs which contain essential toiletry items, phone chargers, notepads, pens, snacks, etc. We also provide the following to hospitals. We fund washing powder for the NICU in Portsmouth. That's the little babies unit. That's nice. Lynn is wishing Joe well there and hoping he's feeling better soon. I love this community where you all look out for each other. It's so nice. We provide toys and activities for children in hospital when needed. We have funded new bedding, high chairs, push chairs, microwaves, freezers, cutlery, crockery, etc. for the patient rooms and wards. We provide gifts on Mother's and Father's Day. Well, isn't that just nice? How wonderful is that? We provide activities over Easter, Halloween and Christmas. They're making life more tolerable when, you might be at the end of your tether and you're so down or, feeling so down. But there's things there to actually help, give a little bit of a lift. It's just such nice kindness. We provide Christmas dinner to all staff and parents in the children's wards. So if any of you want to know that, what I will do is I will put this when I get my website, all these sort of things I'll put on my website. You've uploaded a new short video. I had a very, very quick look at your YouTube channel today, Joe, but I didn't have much time, but I will go back and have a look. So that's Sophie's Legacy. So that was lovely to be able to pick up that leaflet. And then I had a good old chat with Vix. Vix Lothian is our Green Party. I'm not going to go into politics on here, but well, I said to her, because we're going to have two MPs. We've only got one MP at the moment, but they're going to split our county, and we're going to have an East Wight and a West Wight MP. And she's standing as the East Wight, which is where I live, and Cameron, isn't it? Cameron is standing as the West White Green Party, and I sat and had a chat with these people because there's certain things that. So, Joe, Kath's asking you what your channel is. So, can you type it in there? Oh, it's his name. It's his name. What you're seeing there. So, anybody wants to see what Joe does? There we are. Look, there's his name, and that's the name of his YouTube channel as well. Okay. Now, you see, the reason I want to be able to have you on here and on here at the same time is because I would be able to type on the screen. I could type on here, but it's very difficult on the phone. And I would, that's why I'm trying to get it so that I can come live on both things. But that's where I was getting the feedback, and I had to stop being live on there because we got the feedback. I want to talk to my son again so I can do it, because it make it easy, because then I could just type the things in for you. So anyway, Vix often pops in at the workshop I do on a Friday morning. For with the Isle Access charity, and I said, right, tell me what you're going to do for me if I vote for you as MP. See, this is what I say. I want to know what difference you're going to make. So she says on hers, campaigning for better housing, ferries, public services, and schools, because we've had issues in all of those. Protecting our coast, countryside, and access to green spaces. And a lot of our coastal area is falling away. It's falling down into the, falling down. Right. Now, don't worry, Lynn. It was nice that you were here, but Lynn's got to go and sort her dog out. No problem. Lovely that you could come in. Thank you. Never feel sorry that you've got to go. It's come and go as you please. I don't mark you on a list and give you a bad mark if you go early. But no, it's not like that. Just come and go. But I'm sure your dog needs to go and get sorted. And pushing for a fairer, greener island with more opportunities for all, and then all sorts of things. Invest in public services. This is what we really do need. Ensure that health and social care are joined up and free at the point of need. Now, the island let my brother down because one of my brothers took his own life, and where were they? He didn't get the support he needed here on the island. And we just need that. We do need that sort of thing. Invest in more preventative health care to save money and keep people active. Fight for fairer funding for public services on the island due to our higher costs. And because we're an island, things do. It has a knock on more costs. We're getting stuff here and getting ourselves here and away as well. Anyway, there's a lot of things there. So if you want to know anything about the Green Party, I've got the leaflets for the Green Party, so I won't go into all that. I didn't pick up all the leaflets because I didn't want to. Some of them. Won't tell you a bit about my politics, but Joe says we have our local council elections coming up later in the year. We had the local elections the other day. Tracy's apologising because she nipped off to make a cuppa. It doesn't matter. You can come and go as you like. I'm not keeping a register of attendees. It's just nice to have any of you here any of the time. Otherwise, I'd be just talking to my phone. Oh, and I've got a new little mount because I was having trouble with my mount the other day. I bought off Temu. It was less than £1, and it's one of those little ones that opens out, and you can just put the phone in there. So that's good. Also, yesterday, I met Ali's Fitness Fusion. Now, in the stage area at one point, after I'd been inside and had my sit down and charged my phone up and came out again, I was just coming up past where the stage was over to the side, and there was a fitness group doing something, but I didn't know who they were. And at the same time, I met Tony and Sally Murphy, who run the Church on the Roundabout. Some years ago, some of you will have seen me at Church on the Roundabout. Not the Tracy's saying, oh no, not the Temu rabbit hole. Yes, but there's people who say, oh, won't buy anything from China. So much of our stuff comes from China, whether we buy it from Temu or whether we buy it anywhere else. But if I buy something like that, it costs me less than £1. If I buy that somewhere else, it's going to cost me a lot more than that. So yes, I do buy from Temu, and their delivery service is quicker now. So yes, there's some amazing stuff. There's a load of craft stuff I've got from Temu. And if you think I could go to one company and spend £20 on one die, I can go to Temu and I can get a whole collection of dies. And these are the things that cut shapes out for my craft, for my paper craft. In fact, let me show you one so you know. Look, this is a die. Okay, oh, hang on. Let's put it on the edge. Oh no, I need something dark for you to see. I need to get a better background, and then I can hold these things up. There is a little gingerbread man, and it's a little metal die, and I put it with the paper or the card and push it through a little machine, and it squeezes it and it cuts the shape out because it's got a cutting edge on it. So that's a little die, and there's lots and lots of dies and all sorts of things. That's how I make that. But yes, I can have a lot more for my money, so I do get them, and there's just gives me much more choices. If I wanted to spend £20 on my craft, and I could get a whole pile of stuff from Temu or one item from elsewhere, makes sense, doesn't it, to make my money go further? So yes, it sounds like you've been down that Temu rabbit hole, have you? A few times, Tracy. and it's it's amazing. I've found things on there that I didn't even know existed. That solve a problem. So that's great. Anyway, so I was coming up past the stage, and I could see some people doing. Andrea likes Temu. Yes, absolutely. A few too many times, Tracy says she's been there. Well, Andrea, I don't mind telling you, I had some stuff because so diverting from what I was doing in the day, let's just divert to my craft stuff. For all last year when I was recovering, I followed Crafters Companion, which is a crafts company, and I watched they were broadcasting 3 times a day, seven days a week, and it aided my recovery and my mental health. And so I was watching them day in and day out. That was my thing. I got up, I had breakfast, I put the first show on, I watched that, I had lunch. I was really ill, so I was doing this for my recovery. And we as a community built up a really nice community. We were doing what we do here, that the people were making the demonstrations where I'm sitting here now, and we were chatting in the side and getting to know each other. And so I got to know a lot of people, and then I got the chance. Sorry, this naughty strap. And then I got the chance to actually be a guest, so that I was crafting at home, and we did it on Skype, so they would Skype me in to the studio, so that people could see that not only the people in the studio could make these things, but people at home could also make these things. And I didn't want to originally because I was too nervous, but when I found out they give you £50 of free goods, I was in. So I did about 3 of those, but eventually I fell out of love with them. I was all my craft stuff came from Crafters Companion. I spent all my available funds, my spare funds, which was whatever, and I spent with them, and all I bought was Crafters Companion stuff. And then as we came into this year, beginning of this year, suddenly 3 of the presenters were given the boot, and I consider at least one or two of those were the best presenters. Oh, they were all lovely presenters, but they had no notice. They were just given the boot, and we were treated we were customers of that company, but we were more than customers, and they always told us we were more than. Thank you. Andrea says I did a great job on CC. Andrea, is that where we first met? I can't remember first, connected. But they always told us that we were, we were more than just customers. We were inviting them into our homes and all this. And I felt that we were. I felt that we were not like just when you go into Sainsbury's and you buy your shopping and you go home. It was more than that, because they said we were what made their community. And in fact, there's a show reel, and it's on my Go Live Granny page. It's me talking about how much I meant to them, and I think they talk about how or somewhere along the line they said about how we as a community made their business good. So anyway, Sarah Davis, one of the dragons, is she's the head of this, and I'm afraid I lost faith because I loved it. And then suddenly these three people were without a job. But it wasn't just the fact that they were given notice to quit immediately. Immediately. It wasn't any, do a few more shows and then you're going to go. No, you were watching me before that. I thought you were, Andrea, but I couldn't remember. So anyway, so they were not on the show anymore. And I was really sad. But what made it worse was then they cut the shows down from 3 shows a day, 7 days a week, to 2 shows a day, 5 days a week. And then they treated us as idiots by saying, well, oh, you all need your weekends and that. And some people were only watched at the weekends because they go to work. So I don't like being treated like a fool. And they was, they were saying ridiculous. They wouldn't listen to any, some people had valuable things to say, and some people, and they wouldn't listen. And anybody, Heather, here's another one of the the crafters people I met through Crafters Companion. Heather's just come in as well here. I'm just so Heather is, where are you, Heather? Are you in the States, Heather? I've forgotten where you are. Or are you Australia? I've totally forgotten. Anyway, it's just lovely that I've got these sort of people in my community from that world, people from all the different worlds I've been in. It's lovely. So yes, so what I didn't like was, Ohio, the States, there we go. I've given them my loyalty. And I know as a business they can do what they like. Oh, there's Gaz as well. Gaz has come in. It's all my Crafters Companion people coming in now. Hi, Gaz. No, a business can do what they like, because at the end of the day it's their business. But they should have been more honest with us and more upfront with us and said, look, we've got to, if we want to keep going and keep, making these things for you and giving you these wonderful demonstrations, we need to cut our oh, there's Tracy. They're all coming in. Tracy's also one of the Crafters Companion people. You must have heard me mention Crafters Companion, and you're all just arriving in. How funny! This wasn't a conversation that was talking about crafters. So Tracy Cool is saying, if you're watching it to help your mental health and people who are housebound, what happens if that's all then they can look forward to it? Well, that's exactly it. And some people were doing that. I was watching it for my mental health, and that's how I started out, and in my recovery from pneumonia. And so and then I got to know all these lovely people like Gaz, and Gaz actually lives on the Isle of Wight, but I met him through the craft shows, and then we met in person on the island, and so that was nice. But what was I going to say? Sorry, I do this and I get it blank. Yes, so we were doing it for our mental health, and they had always told us we were more than that. So I felt like I was more than a customer that would walk into Sainsbury's, get my shopping and go out. And so when they started treating us as though we were idiots and pretending, oh well, you want your weekends back, so that's what we've done. No, don't lie to us. Tell us the truth. Actually tell us the truth, because actually what you're doing is you don't care about me anymore. And so I voted with my feet, and I have not spent another penny with that company since. And I don't look, I'm still connected to the page, but I haven't spent any money with them, and I don't intend spending any money with them, because I didn't like the way they operated. Be honest. If they were honest and said to us, look, they had huge losses. We knew that. But of course, we lived in a world where all the prices of everything went sky high. So their costs would have been a huge amount more. Just be honest. If you can't be anything else, at least tell the truth. And when they don't tell the truth, and then when they were taking everybody's comments off and weren't answering people's questions, I didn't want to know anymore. I want to be in a community that's lovely. So some of us connected in groups outside that community, and so I've made some more friends there. And now some of them are coming over to my community over here, so it's nice. So after that, I started looking at other things, and of course, Tracy's saying she first saw me on a CC craft along. If I remember, wait a minute, if I remember right, you had a decorated wig on. Yes, I did. I did. That wasn't the first one I did. That was the one I did with Michelle, and Michelle was one of the people that was given the boot. I made Michelle. I sent that wig to Michelle. I was making a gingerbread house, and of course, often, I mean, I haven't got anything. This is me, my hair, but often I've got mad things on my head. As people who've known me any length of time will know that I often have the mad and wacky because I can. And Michelle loved it, so I sent it to her. I don't know if she still got it because they were given the boot, so it might be at her place where she used to work, and I don't know. If she needs another one, I'll make her another one. But anyway, so yeah, so the first one I did, Tracy, was one with Debbie Robinson. No, it wasn't. The first one should have been with Michelle, but Michelle was the first one should have been with Michelle, but she was off sick. Oh, Gaz says that Michelle still got it. She still got her wig. Excellent, because I had this purple wig, and then I was making a gingerbread house, so I made a gingerbread house and put it on my wig, and had little gingerbread men and little candy canes in there, because she'd admired it. I thought, oh, let's just send it to her. So yeah, so that was one with Michelle, but the first one I ever did, I should have done it with Michelle. All right, Kath, I will make sure I get some fun head decorations. Kath saying she misses all my fun head decorations. So okay, I will do that. Do you know what? I'm just going to plug the phone in. I can't see while I'm live how much battery. I did fill it right up, but let's just plug us in case we become in case we sorry. You just got me across the screen because I'm just having to plug in. So I don't want to lose it. So I will make some more at special requests for you. Oh, I still got a lot of battery. Special request for you, Kath. I will do some. Look, tell you what. There we go. I don't know if I've got anywhere. Oh, look. Your wish is my command, Kath. Hang on, because I'm in my craft room. Look. Because it's been Walk the White Day, and the sunflower is the emblem of the hospice for whom they were walking the white. Whoops, hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. I haven't got scissors in front of me, but I have got a whole roll of ribbon that's just fallen on the floor. Hang on a minute. Oh dear. Look. Talk about impromptu. There you are, Kath. I hope. Oh no! I hope you're impressed. Actually, I want some scissors, don't I? But I haven't. Let's put it behind my ears because it's going to slide. Hello, John. Kath says John is watching. There we go. All right. So now I have fun headgear. Is that all right, Kath? Mission accomplished. I'll do anything to amuse my audience if I can. Tracy, I'm sorry, I missed some comments here. Tracy Cool said, good for you, Lynn. They don't deserve your money. They're not going to make their losses up now, are they? No, and they're not. That's the thing. Lots of us defected. Some people will buy, but some people still buy from them, but it's not for me. They were rude. It wasn't nice. So anyway, I'm glad you're being entertained. Kath says this is entertaining. Look, Walk the White Day, and here we are. That's how you make an instant hat. So anyway, so where was I before I went off on the hat tactic? I can't remember what I was saying. Oh yes, I was talking about Crafters Companion, all these lovely people coming in. Who knows? I start off on one tack and then I go totally on something else. It doesn't matter. And then there are people who are rude to me, and I said, you know what? If you don't like what I do, scroll on by. It's what your thumb's for, isn't it? Scroll away. I have had to block some people who've come in and been rude to me, but you know what? I'm 73 years old. Do I give a damn about those sad people? You know, I had a sad person the other day who, I don't know if any of you saw it. Somebody criticized. So you know, when you're on social media, you know, you build up your audience by interacting with your audience, whether you're doing it live like this or whether you're posting, you know, on your page. My son's taught me, you know, that you do things and you interact with your people. Heather saying she too is disappointed with how CC did things. I do watch the others that left on YouTube. Yes, so those 3 presenters all have set their own YouTube channels up. Absolutely. Andrea has she's put the sunflowers up. It's the day they did Walk the White, and this is one of the Walk the White sunflowers. This is what they sell to raise funds, you see. So and Tracy's saying, the other Tracy, so I've got 2 Tracy's, that's thinking on your feet. Great headway. Well, I'm an ex-teacher, and you had to always think on your feet when you were a teacher. So obviously it's in me. Right. Yes, Tracy, I was coming to them. Yes, let's go over there. Tracy's saying, sorry, Lynn, could you tell me the young people that were doing the wax melts yesterday at Riverfest? I saw your video, but didn't get the name. Absolutely. So that's what I was going to show you before we got sort of diverted because all the craft people were coming in and I went off on that tack. So, yes, let me show you. I'm not going to light my thing with my wax melt, but one of the last stalls of the day that I went to. So those of you who are coming in late, I'm talking about the weekend, and we had this wonderful thing called Riverfest, which is a free event with stalls, family entertainment, free bands, charities telling you what they were doing, businesses selling things, just amazing. And the last, you know, and I get so irritated when people pack up. I said this before, when people pack up before the end of the day. Well, I am so pleased with those young entrepreneurs. They did not pack up. They were still there. And if they had packed up, I wouldn't have known about them. I'd seen them in the paper, but seeing somebody real, you know, in the reality, you know, meeting them properly is more dramatic and more effective than actually seeing them in the paper. And I saw this beautifully presented stand, and I saw some things like this. This is, you know, my thing for putting my wax melts in. And actually, the first time I went past, so earlier in the day I'd gone past, but this was when I was coming back at the end of the day, and they were almost the last stall I was at. And this wonderful smell hit me as I was walking along. I thought, oh, what's that? Beautiful smell of wax melts. Lovely. But I didn't buy any of those, that sort. Do you know what I bought? I bought the ones that are cocktails because I had a bit of a joke because I don't drink. I hardly ever drink. And I bought, what did I buy? What's this one? Pina colada. Pina colada. Wild wax melts, it's called. Rhubarb gin. And raspberry mojito. I'm going to have to go back and get some of those beautiful ones that actually gave me that wonderful smell as I walked past, the more floral ones. And so, but I could, you know, I had to buy from them. They were so good. They just won. What I saw in the paper the other day was that they had just won Young Entrepreneur on the island. There's a competition, and Young Entrepreneur is obviously an organisation. I need to look more at it. I need to go and read the newspaper article as well. But, you know, they gave me their business card. Look, Wild Wax Melts. So it says at Wild Wax Melts IOW. They're on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. I said you should be on YouTube as well. Then I could share it because people like me watch YouTube, and then we might buy some stuff. So anyway, I don't know whether they will, but you know, they were amazing. They had. Because as I went past the stall, there was a big banner, and it said the names of the people who had created the business. And so I went up to the stall, and there was these youngsters there, and I said, right, there's all you people here, but who are Sophie, Freya, and Archie? And it was these youngsters, and I was so impressed because I love that entrepreneurial spirit. You know, my son was an entrepreneur at 12. I told you earlier in the broadcast, and I said, well, tell me how it worked. And you know what? I've got the video. I've took video of them, and I will put it up. Tracy, I'll put it up. Yes, do that, but I'll try and get their video clip up tonight or tomorrow if I can. Because basically I said, tell me how you started your business. And they were thinking of something to do. And I think Sophie had a wax melt in her drawer. I think I've got the names the right way around. They'll forgive me if I haven't. And Freya saw it, and so that was the wrong way around. Freya saw it and thought it was a sweet and went to eat it. And anyway, they decided, because you have to be careful. Wax melts do sometimes look like sweeties. Anyway, she they decided, oh, let's do wax melts, and thank you, Tracy. I'm glad that you'll go and have a look, because I'm trying to open the box so that you can see in the box. But Archie was in charge of the graphics. Sophie was, which way around? Sophie, I think, was in charge of the packaging, and no, Freya was in. Oh, sorry, girls, I'm getting their names the wrong way round, and I can't. Oh, wait a minute, I don't know how to get in. Oh, I'm going in I wasn't going in the right way. Look, all these do smell nice, but they smell of the cocktails. Hang on. Oh, I can't get it. I can't get them out, folks. I'm not going to try now, because they'll go all over the floor and then I'll have a trouble. But I was so impressed, and they talked to me, and they grown in confidence, because they have to present to judges, and it's amazing. I've been on a panel, and I've been involved with youngsters doing this sort of thing before, and it's amazing what some of these youngsters can come up with, and that I was so impressed. But I can understand why they won. Now they're going on Wednesday. They're on the mainland. They're going into the next round, so that's fantastic. So I felt like I wanted to buy some of their product. I don't normally do much like wax melts, but I thought, do you know what, I'm going to. The one I was involved with before, some years ago, was Deja Brew. They called themselves Deja Brew, and it was coffee. Tracy's going to pop to bed up for work tomorrow. Watch the end. That's fine, Tracy. No problem. Lovely to have you in here. It was just nice. Kath saying the Sunflower has reminded her about hospices. The UK is in danger of losing their services due to lack of funding. Please support your local hospices. And you know that it's not just ours here on the Isle of Wight. It's all of the hospices. I think ours on the Isle of Wight costs, I can't remember, it was thousands, or was it millions, to keep going every year. And you know, it's always very, very busy. It's a lovely place. It's full of lightness and brightness, our hospice, you know, and it's got sunflowers, and it's got a lovely garden. I've been in the garden. I've live streamed from the garden there. And there was a garden again in memory of a young girl that passed sadly due to cancer. So there was a lot of funding came in, you know, from people that I think the parents raised funds or whatever, and they had the that was, I think it was called, I think she was another Sophie, and it was a kissy puppy. You know, they did the garden there, and it was just amazing. You know, there's so many wonderful people around. There's some not very nice people, and there are so many wonderful people around. And you know, these youngsters yesterday, I was so impressed with them, and I will be sharing out their video and stuff. So I said, will you make a video with me? And then what I will do, folks, is I will invite them into one of my broadcasts. So what I can do is bring them in as a guest, and I can have them in the screen with me. So, you know, we can all be on the screen together, and I can ask them questions, and you know, you can get to meet them. They said they would do that. So that's wonderful. So I'm really excited about that. So as I say, I had the most amazing day. When I'd finished there, I actually realized I hadn't had my lunch. I'd taken my lunch with me, but I hadn't had my lunch. I've been so busy and enjoying myself. So what I decided to do, rather than go straight home, go and get the bus, I went back into the building and sat down, plugged my phone in and charged it up some more, and sat and had my lunch. And then At 5 o'clock, that was. And there was a young lady there who I ended up speaking to as well, and that was a good conversation. But what I forgot to tell you was, on the way in on the bus, I'd taken my knitting. I've got some a knitting project I'm doing, and we're doing a display. We're doing a craft display on the 8th of June in the local rectory, the local rec and rectory grounds, and the theme is D-Day. So it's things to do with D-Day. So it'll be poppies, and then it will be anything to do with that. Well, previously I've knitted a Second World War soldier. I've knitted a nurse from the Second World War. I've knitted a land girl. There are 4 patterns. There was an air raid guy, and so I found the patterns, and I thought, right, if I've got time, I shall knit those for the project. So I was going to knit on the bus, but I got on the bus, and straight away somebody started chatting to me, and she knew me because she'd been watching the broadcast as well, and I can't, it was amazing conversation. Somebody else that, oh, I know, and she knew one of my community, amazing lady in my community who sadly passed away last year, and she lived here on the island, and for those of you who don't know, I'm talking about Marianne. Some of you will have known her, and she was a lovely lady, and she became part of. She became more sitting in the background of the Go Live Granny community, but she was an amazing supporter, absolutely, and she had young boys, and so I asked this lady. I said, "Well, how are the boys? I know the boys went to live in Scotland with their their more grown-up sister, because now Mummy wasn't there. What were they going to do? They weren't old enough to live on their own." So I knew they'd gone to Scotland, and she told me that they're doing really well, which is lovely. Lovely to get the follow up to know that they're doing really well, and that was lovely. I was pleased to know. I mean, very sad, very tragic, but just lovely to know that that they are thriving and surviving, which was great. So by the time I was chatting to her, I never got my knitting out to do, and suddenly we'd got to Newport. So that was another person who knew me through my community and watched the streams that I met, and got to chat with her. And so that's how it went all day yesterday. I met so many people walking along that I knew. Sometimes I've only seen them. These are people I've known for a long time. Last time I saw them was at the River Fest last year. I got to go, Tracy. Don't worry, have work tomorrow. Catch up at the end of the week. Yeah, no problem. I have been on for 2 hours, so I don't blame anybody who needs to go. I can lie in, you see. Anyway, lovely to have you in here, Tracy, and hope you have a good week. So anyway, yes, so that was an amazing. I met so many people yesterday, and then I met people who said, "Oh, I know who you are," and it was just a wonderful atmosphere. The whole day was happy people. The sun was shining. They were being entertained. It was all free entertainment. I don't think I heard any crosswords from anybody yesterday, which is lovely, isn't it? Just as it should be. So it was an amazing day. And then I came home and I sat and watched Eurovision. Now, I don't do Eurovision. Kath saying it's good that I'm connecting with my friends. Yeah, it's back to how it was before COVID, where this community kept growing and growing. Then, of course, we had COVID, and I entertained the troops through COVID, and then, of course, after that, life changed, and people went off and did. Some people stayed, some people did that. It doesn't matter. People can come and go as they like. That's how it is. Life changes, and then, of course, I was ill, so I wasn't doing any broadcasts or whatever. It was more about me getting healthy again. So that was important, and then. Now I feel so well that I'm starting to do more broadcasts, which is starting to connect with more people. And then today, as I say, Karen messaged me the other day to say You only watched the Eurovision scoring. No, so Kath, I watched it. I haven't watched it for years. And I thought, I don't know if I'm going to like it. But let's have a look and see. And I watched it all the way through. I was doing other things, and my daughter was messaging me because her children were watching it as well. And I rather liked the one that won. And so when she said, "Who gets your vote?" Good morning, Hazel, coming in from Australia there. You know, we're 2 hours into the broadcast, Hazel. I've been going on for a long time here. I don't know what time is it where you are. It's time we were thinking of some of the people have gone out to go to bed now because they've got work tomorrow. But we're having a fun time here, Hazel. I hope you're having a nice time, and thank you very much for joining us. And this is my impromptu hat because we were talking about hats and wigs and things, and Kath said, "I miss you having hats." And so there was a sunflower on my desk and some ribbon on my desk. So I've made myself it's 8 a.m. So Hazel will have just got up. Kath saying hello to Hazel there. So there we go. Lovely to see you chatting again because you know they've connected before through YouTube and whatever. So what was I saying? So Eurovision. So I actually really quite liked the guy that was the winner. Some of the songs didn't stand out to me at all, and I wasn't really concentrating too much because I was doing other bits. I wasn't just sitting watching. Was I doing craft, or was I, some of the time I was just watching. But anyway, I really, really enjoyed it from not having I went right off it when UK never featured, and it became sort of political, and we don't want the UK. We'll have all, everybody else, and of course there was an element apparently of that yesterday because he got no public votes, and it was something to do with Israel. But I don't want to go into the politics of it all. Right, so Tracy's just saying, sorry, I've just quickly followed those young people from Wild Wax Melt, and bless them, not only were they at Riverfest all day yesterday, but they've just oh, that's right, they said they were walking the white today, so they did all that yesterday, and then they've walked 26.5 miles to date as well. They are amazing youngsters. Thanks for that, Tracy. Yes, I'd forgotten that they said they were walking the white. They did tell me. So that was amazing. So yes, what did I call it? Wild Wax Melts. So if anybody wants, they don't do mail order at the moment, but I said, would they consider it if somebody wanted to buy? So any of you who are not on the island and might want to buy, they would consider it. So, and the mums were amazing. And the mums came when I was doing the video. The mums came and crept in the back of the, at the back of the video, when I was live streaming with them. But that was fine because the mums are supporting them. And they're giving up their kitchens or wherever they're doing this wax melt making or whatever. I haven't done candle making and wax melts. But but I have got this set now to use. And Tracy's saying she loves her wax melts. So so that was amazing. And then today, as I say, and another amazing day. And you know what? I've been full of the joys of spring. Having been out all day yesterday, I would have thought I would be really tired today because in my recovery from pneumonia, that's how it's been. I've had if I've been out for a day, then I had to sort of rest a lot afterwards because I would be so tired. But you know what? I didn't. I got up and did some housework. I was going out at 1. My friends were picking me up at 1. And I did some housework before I went. I don't like housework at the best of times, so I only do the minimum anyway. But I was full of the joys of spring, and I did some housework. Kath, you'd be very proud of me. And then I was just taking the rubbish down. It was about 10 to 1, and I was taking the rubbish down to put in the bin, and they were already here outside. What's on next weekend, Lynn? I know about Rider Bus. Oh, crikey. Hang on, let me look because I've shared a lot of it to the Isle of Wight page, so some of it will be there. Let's see. I need to remind myself because I want to. Oh, my mouse has gone to sleep. Come on, wakey mouse. Let's just. If I go on the other page, it will probably prompt me. So Isle of Wight Live. Yes, so I know there's a dog show next weekend because the Wax Melt girls are going to be at the dog show that's at Whippingham. But there's other things. Wait a minute, let's see. So it's Ticket to Ride. Yeah, that's next week. What else? Let's go down here. Discovery Bay. That was one of it, Tracy. The 18th, 10 till 4 is Discovery Bay at Browns Golf Course. It's like the old Hullabaloo. It's got it's featuring the Pop-Up Natural History Museum, the National Poo Museum, the National Trust, Wild Heart Trust, Wilder Learning, Hampshire and Isle of Wight Wildlife Trust, Shade Makers UK, Zoologica, White Coast Fossils. So that's, look on the Isle of Wight.live page because I've put them over there. So that's on the 18th. That's the Saturday, and I know I saw something on the Sunday. What was on the Sunday? Let's see. I don't know. I might be able to find it. I might not. I've posted so many things today that 2 months to go till the county show, 13th and 14th of July. Right. So the Vectis Call of Drums, they went, and this is where I think Plaza Ice might have gone, straight from the Riverfest to the Wolverton Folk and Blues Fair yesterday. That was amazing. So I can't remember. What I will do, Tracy, is I will have a look and let you know because I can't see quickly. I should have written it in my diary, shouldn't I? But I'll have a look and see and remind you what it was because I've forgotten. But Discovery Bay on the 18th and something else on the 19th. But I'll let you know. And I think there's more than just those two. Sorry to be a pain. Oh, yes, St Mildred's Church. Not sure if you'll get to St Mildred's as it's quite a walk from myself. No, because I had wanted to go, but I think I want to do Discovery Bay. I'm not sure whether they're on the Saturday. Can't remember which day they're doing that, whether it's the Saturday or the Sunday. And there was something else that I thought would be good. I don't think I'm going to try and fit in 3 things on a weekend. I think that might be just a bit too much. But as I say, I did. Today I was doing this housework, and then I went off with my friends, and it was lovely to meet Mandy, who'd been following me for a long time. And as I said, those of you who heard in earlier, you would have heard me say that Mandy was with Karen. I didn't know who Mandy was. I said, "Oh, have we met before?" She said, "No," but she said, "I've been following you for a long time." And when she said her name and her surname, she was married. She had been married to a German chap, so she got a German surname. And yes, I know. I remember your name. And it was really interesting to meet her. So she's been following me for such a long time. But she met Karen through me. She watched me. Then she connected with Karen, who used to interact in the community. And then she became a good friend of Karen's. And they've known each other for years. So it was brilliant. Tracy says, "I would struggle from the bus stop to St Mildred's, Lynn. It's quite a walk for you." Just sort of, thank you. Yes, I won't do it then. It's not something that I think I ought to try. I need to preserve myself. So anyway, so I went out for lunch. We had a lovely lunch. It was a nice. I had a roast dinner, and then we caught up a lot. So we sat long after our lunch, chatting. And then they brought me home, and they went off to go and do other things. And I busied around the flat, and I tidied some more of the because some of you will know I bought a huge amount of craft stuff on a very bargain buy, but I've got to house it and get it all put away in all these boxes and things. So I've tidied lots more of that up. Kath, you will be so impressed. And I didn't get as far as vacuuming the landing floor, which I was going to do. Then it was time to broadcast, so I will have to do that tomorrow. And then, no, I've been very impressed with myself. And I don't even feel too tired now. So I'm going to go in a minute because I think I need to wind down a bit before bedtime. I have been on here for 2 hours and 8 minutes and 29 seconds when we finally got live. But it's been an amazing week. I have been very busy, Kath. And so I'm going to have a sort of more chill out day tomorrow. If I feel like it, I'll do more tidying. Oh no, tomorrow afternoon I'm out. I've got the, so anybody who's on the island who would like to come along and either craft or sit and chat and have coffee while we craft, it's the once a month crafting with the Embracing Age charity. And Embracing Age support people in care homes who don't have families, so they wouldn't get birthday cards, they wouldn't get any presents or things like that. So this wonderful charity was created. They're now looking for somebody to take it over because the girl who created it has done it for 10 years and she wants to step down, but she wants somebody to come in and run it and keep it going. And it's amazing, and it's run through through churches. She started it on the mainland, but she came to the island because her mum lives on the island, and I know her mum, and that's how I got involved, because I started to help, with promoting it and that sort of thing. And now they asked me if I would run a craft workshop. So we were originally going to make cards, but they've got so many people making cards because they send cards every month to the people in care homes. Not just for the birthday, they can send them a card every month. So that's a lot of cards for people in care homes. But also, we're doing some gift boxes. We're going to do some gift boxes tomorrow. I haven't got the one I'm going to do tomorrow handy, but this is a gift box that I made the other day. This is a little fairy tower. So I know some of you have seen this already. Oops. So that slides off there. It does, really. It slides off. And it's a gift box. And I won't try and put it back on because it's got those turrets. Oh, I will. Those turrets go up through the little holes at the top. So you can see the turret. Yes, look, there we are. It's worked. And the turret's coming out at the top. Isn't that clever? And so who was it who was talking to me? It is a cute box, isn't it? Oh, so yes, I was telling a story about the crafting, and when I stopped doing Crafter's Companion and I started buying tonic stuff. And it was, so I don't know if, who was it? Was it Andrew? No, it was, it might have been, I can't remember. It was one of the girls who's perhaps left the broadcast now. But they were saying, I was talking about buying from Temu, and I couldn't get one of the things that Tonics had done. And they do all these amazing craft things that I've been doing. A lot of these sort of things that I've been doing recently. And the telephone box, and not that one. That's not one. And Father Christmas, because Christmas is coming. It's coming a bit too fast. And what else have I got? Let's take those down because they're not. And we've got the fairy. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that? That's like a fairy, a mushroom, a big mushroom. That's a fairy. Like a toadstool, and the top hat wasn't Tonics. That was another. That was Helen Griffin did that one. I forgot what she calls her business, but so I've loved making all these gift boxes and things, and so Rebecca, who's the fundraiser for Embracing Age, said, "Can we make some gift boxes?" So we're going to do that. But it was when I could. I wanted a teacup and teapot I'd seen before, and Jan had wanted me to make a teapot for her at the workshop that I do on a Friday morning, and she'd bought a pattern. It was an acetate pattern for a teapot and cup, and it was so awful. I couldn't get on with it. I couldn't make it, and I was determined to make her a teapot and a teacup because she wanted them. So I knew that. I then found out somebody said, "Oh, Tonics do it," but I couldn't get it. And so I looked around and I don't know where I got that one. Whether I got it from I think I got it from somebody else who had some Tonic stuff, but then something else I couldn't get. And Gaz told me, he said, "But you might be able to get it off of Temu, because I mean they're naughty copying, but the prices are so much, different, aren't they? So, something that might cost £30 might cost £10 on Temu, and they actually work. Heather started buying tonics. It has a subscription. Yes, I've got the subscription, Heather. It seems silly not to, because you get a subscription box once a month, and I pay monthly, so it's different prices. If you pay for the year, you can get a better deal, or you can buy just one box, and that's $34.99. If you buy monthly, it's $29.99. But also, it's worth about £50 what's in the box, so it's silly not to do it. But you don't have to buy it every month. If you don't want it, you can have a pass, you can miss, and they don't invoice you. Lovely company to be involved with. And Heather's saying that they're amazing and sturdy when put. They are, and now I've got used to doing them. I did the Easter eggs, and I've done all sorts of, not here anymore because they've gone. But it's just fun, and now you know how to put them together. And the glue that they do you use their glue, Heather? Do you use the Nouveau glue? Because it's amazing. It does it so quickly. It bonds so quickly. So it is amazing. I love it. But I have had to buy. I like to try and support Tonic most of the time. And if they've got a good deal on, I will buy it on a good deal. But one or two of them I've missed, particularly ones I wanted, that then they haven't repeated, and they weren't going to repeat. So I did buy those off of Temu. And yes, Heather uses the Nouveau glue. It's amazing, that glue. And they come with these lovely lids with jewels on the top. And one day I dropped one of these, and that jewel came off, and I thought, oh, when the glue's finished, I can actually use that on a project. And it's very quick grab glue, so which is great. So really good. So folks, I really think I ought to finish and think about winding down before bed. But I hope you've felt a little bit entertained by my mad shenanigans. Yes, Kath, I have been busy, and look forward to seeing you again. I believe you're not on the island at the moment, are you? You've got one bottle with the tiny nozzle and the other with the regular nozzle. Yes, I had one with the tiny nozzle, and then something happened to it, so I've got to get another one. But the regular nozzle's not bad. But if you get so those of you watching, if you get one with a tiny nozzle, it just does a tiny little bit of glue, so you don't waste your glue, and it's amazing. But a year ago I didn't even know much about glues and things, and then I went to glue school with Crafters Companion. There is such a thing, and you learn all the different glues for all the different things. So then I went to glue school, and then I knew what I was doing. Cass Night, Lynn, lovely to see you and hear about your outings. Excellent. Well, and I hope that you like the fact that I did a designer hat, especially with you in mind, Kath. So I hope you like that. Anyway, I'm going to go now, and I'm going to wind down. I'm going to get a drink and just chill out for a little bit. I might just watch something on the TV or on iPlayer just to wind down before I go to bed. Oh no, I've got to think about my craft stuff for tomorrow. But it's not difficult. Thanks for the hat. Yes, she said. Yes, it's not difficult tomorrow. We're doing some simple little boxes, which I could actually get ready in the morning, because anybody on the island who wants to come, it's tomorrow afternoon. If you want to come, let me know, and I'll tell you where it is. And but otherwise, I will. I need to get stuff ready for the craft along for tomorrow. Bye, everybody. Thank you for joining me. Sorry about the shenanigans we had at the beginning, but there you go. You'll look forward to seeing pics of the gift boxes. Yes, and I will be putting a load of videos and a load of pictures out, because I took loads of pictures yesterday, loads of videos. So I've got to get those all up at some stage, but it won't all be tonight, I can tell you, because I need to go to bed in a minute soon. Might watch TV while I'm in bed. Night, everybody. Thank you for joining me.